The police have launched an internal review into the handling of 2020 DNA linked to Raul Meza. APD arrested the convicted killer this week in connection with 2 murders and believe he may be linked up to 10 more. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daniel Marin.
And I'm Britt Moreno. Now, KXAN's Brianna Hollis is in studio tonight with more on how this DNA test connecting Meza to a crime several years ago comes into play now and why APD is looking into what happened.
Yeah, so guys, the department says Chief Chacon himself called for this review to examine, quote, potential investigative lapses. And we started asking questions about why police didn't arrest Meza sooner when these court documents revealed officers found Gloria Lofton dead inside her home in 2019 and the next year found Meza's DNA in the victim's rape kit test.
She was always open hands to people. She was always kind.
Sergio Rodriguez called Gloria Lofton a second mother.
She will always, like, if I was hungry, she'll say, I'll make you food.
Now, her name serves as a focal point of a potential serial killer investigation into Raul Meza. As police pursue Meza's connection to area cold cases, the department now simultaneously looks into its own investigators' actions regarding DNA that linked Meza to Lofton, who police now think he killed in 2019, 4 years before police also linked him to the murder of his Pflugerville roommate, Jesse Fraga. Meza's arrest affidavit for Lofton's murder outlines the following timeline. In May of 2019, police found Lofton dead inside her Sarah Drive home. In July, the medical examiner's final report says based on what Lofton's body looked like, it's possible someone strangled her, but the official cause and manner of death was, quote, undetermined. In 2020, the DPS crime lab got a DNA match for Meza from Lofton's rape kit. Things go dark on the case from this point, based on the information we have right now. Until police say last month, Meza called them, confessing to Fraga's and Lofton's murders.
So you will need other evidence to go with the DNA in order to get proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Have specifically asked APD why investigators couldn't move forward with investigating Meza further in Lofton's death upon receiving that DNA sample. The department says it can't comment further because of that administrative review underway. According to APD general orders, forensics is supposed to notify investigators when there's a DNA hit on the case. If that case has been closed, investigators are supposed to reopen it and follow up. If it's still open, supervisors are supposed to make sure investigators know about that new DNA info. Britt, Daniel.
All right, Brianna, thank you very much. And going in depth on this, we dove into our KXAN archives and found a 1993 interview with Meza. This was from when he was first released from prison after the murder of 8-year-old Kendra Page. Now, in that interview, he tried to convince the public that he was a changed man.
There is nothing that I can do to change the past. I can only tell you that in my heart, I know that I will not willfully bring harm to anyone.
Now, after getting out of prison, correction officials tried to relocate Meza to a handful of different Texas cities, but people protested after learning what he had done. And Austin was no different. When he arrived at his mother's home here, he was greeted by demonstrators.
Yes, granted, he says he's changed. We don't know if he has changed. And if he has changed, we're not willing to put our children's lives at risk to find out.
And despite the promise that Meza made, he ended up back in prison about a year after his release due to a parole violation. You can get continuing coverage